I made it my mission to platinum every game in the God of War franchise. The good, the very good, and the goddamn exceptional. I want to experience every glorious moment this franchise has to offer. That means I'm playing every game from every generation of console and earning every trophy that comes with it. Today, our mission to become the ultimate God of War fan begins with the game that started it all. The game many consider, even in 2024, as one of the greatest action games of all time, and has cemented itself as one of the greatest PlayStation 2 games ever made. God of War. So sit back, relax, get that popcorn ready as I take you down memory lane through this epic PlayStation series. The game begins with Kratos, a Spartan general and champion of the gods who is tormented by the mistakes of his past, the guilt of these transgressions becoming too much for him to bear, and he leaps off this cliff in the hope for peace. During the descent, we are blessed with a flashback showing us the events that led up to this moment. We are transported to the Aegean Sea 3 weeks prior. Kratos has been sent on a mission by the gods to destroy a mythical sea serpent that has been terrorizing sailors and merchants. As we arrive at the fleet of shipwrecked vessels, we are swarmed by the creatures of the undead, ascending from the depths of the ocean to cause havoc at every turn. After decimating these creatures and getting to grips with the combat, we begin exploring. Fortunate enough, much like later entries in the series, the game thrusts a boss battle at us early on, giving us a drip of endorphins from the very beginning. This boss was just one of the many heads of the Sea Hydra and put up a valiant fight against our young Kratos. However, thanks to our god gamer IQ, we make quick work of it, and thanks to some quick reflexes, we push the beast back and continue exploring. After navigating some simple platforming sections and looting every chest we can find like the good loot goblin we are, we locate the captain's quarters. The shrieks of scared, helpless maidens echoing from inside, and we're unable to break the door down, so we continue exploring, hoping our search will locate the captain or his key. During the search, a beam of light irradiates within a doorway, and upon closer inspection, we realize that it is the god of the sea, Poseidon himself, reaching out to us to grant us aid in our quest. Poseidon gives us our first taste of magic, providing us with an electrical burst attack that stuns and damages nearby enemies. This earns us our first trophy of the game, 1.21 gigawatts. After relentlessly searching every nook and cranny, we find the captain. But before we can take the key off him, he is swallowed up by the King Hydra. This impressive beast boasts 3 deadly heads, all hell-bent on destroying us and anyone that stands in their way. So it was here where our skills would truly be tested.
2. Fight!
Each head presented like its own boss, attacking me whenever I got close to them and using a suction attack to draw me close when I tried to retreat. Lucky for us, after some failed attempts, I was able to stun each of the heads and dropped a large cargo on their heads, stunning them and pinning them to the bridge of the ship. Now it was time for the king.
Final round. Fight!
With less of an area to navigate and more ferocious attacks to block, this became quite a challenge. Eventually, however, we showed the Hydra who was boss by driving its head onto the broken mass and taking it down once and for all. As we climbed through the decaying body of the Hydra, we located the captain, hanging on for dear life. Beneath him, the emptiness of the beast's stomach, and above him stood a very pissed off Kratos.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
After becoming the new captain of the ship, we earn the trophy, it's a huge one, and make our way back to his quarters. En route to the captain's quarters, we locate a health chest and open it, earning us the trophy 0 health equals bronze trophy for opening a health chest when we were at full health. Now it's time to go save those helpless maidens and earn our reward.
Yeah, boy.
As we reach the captain's quarters, a gruesome scene sets the mood for the game ahead.
Slaughtered like animals, the victims lay before him, a reminder of his own past, a past he could never escape.
Even the pleasure of multiple women could not rid Kratos of the nightmares of his past, and after much frustration, Kratos demands an audience with Athena.
Athena!
Our next task was simple: head into Athens and locate the Oracle. As we explore the harbour of Athens, it isn't long before we locate a new beast we must slay, the Minotaur.
I can't believe my eyes. A minotaur.
Unfortunately for it though, we had a city to save, so we made quick work of this beast and earned the trophy, Matador. After navigating through the streets of Athens, slaying mythical beasts, solving puzzles and looting every chest we can find, we locate a shrine where Aphrodite speaks to us from beyond the veil. She is pleased with our progress and grants us a challenge. If we defeat this Medusa here, she will grant us their ability to freeze enemies in place. As you can see, I apparently suck at quick time events, but after much perseverance, I was able to defeat the Medusa and earned the trophy, rocking out. Continuing our journey through the city of Athens, we are contacted by the Oracle, a servant of Athena who seeks to help Kratos with his mission to take down Ares. She tells us her temple is to the east and we must reach it if we are to have any chance of defeating a god. As we step onto the road to Athens, we see Ares, gigantic in stature, dwarfing over the mortals fighting below. It was, at this point, the task ahead seemed near impossible.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
But we laboured on, taking down enemy forces along the way as Ares dwarfed us in the background. As we made it to the town square, the locals were screaming, running for their lives as two cyclopses were snacking on any unfortunate soul that was too slow to escape. Using the Blades of Chaos and our new abilities, we were able to take down these foul beasts. While exploring the town square, looting every chest and smashing every jar in sight, witness a lady fall from a balcony after recognizing Kratos and knowing the horrors of his past. On her body was a key to the rooftops, so we loot her body, take the key and continue our adventure. New beasts greeted us on the rooftops. In particular, we are introduced to harpies and wraiths. Both creatures were far more agile than anything we faced so far and required a new strategy to destroy them. After navigating through the chaos that is the crumbling rooftops of Athens, we locate a temple dedicated to the king of the gods, Zeus, and we use this mobile siege device to destroy one of the doors to the temple and destroy some enemies standing in our way, earning us the trophy Hitman for getting a 100-hit combo. Whilst looting everything in the temple, we are reached out to by Zeus himself, who grants us the ability to throw lightning bolts from our hands. When the King of the Gods grants us this power, we earn our next trophy, Bolt Action. After exploring further into the city, we locate the Oracle, but before she can tell us the information we need, she is grabbed and dragged away by these harpies. So we begin our pursuit, dismembering any enemy that stands in our way until we reach the temple. This temple, dedicated to Athena, is used by the Oracle to bestow her message to the mortals of Earth. We witness the Oracle being dragged further into this temple, but as we approach the entrance, we notice this strange man with a shovel digging a grave.
Who are you?
The temple presented a number of challenges for us, from a hall full of harpies to a skilled narrow beam section to intense combat scenarios in tight hallways. It was generally a joy to overcome. Eventually we located the Oracle. She was able to escape the harpies and was dangling off a statue in desperate need for our help. This was where the game's puzzles truly stumped me for the first time. I ran around for ages trying to figure out what the hell I had to do, until eventually, by mistake, I ended up pushing these two pillars on top of each other.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Allowing me access to the upper area. As we scaled the cliffs surrounding the gardens, the Oracle's grip wavered, and we now faced our first speed challenge. Make it across the numerous obstacles before she falls to a timely demise. Easy enough for a god gamer like us. We earned the trophy. Don't leave her hanging. As the Oracle thanked us for our heroics, she informed us that the only way to kill a god was to obtain Pandora's box. This mystical artifact was stored away in Pandora's temple, which was located across the Desert of Lost Souls. After looting a number of chests that we missed along the way and destroying any enemies that dared face us, we reached the Desert of Lost Souls. After scouring the desert for what felt like an eternity, we finally hunted down all 3 sirens, destroyed them, and opened the door that would lead us further into the desert. As we approach this Titan horn, we are surrounded by sirens, and an epic battle ensued. After using the powers bestowed to us by the gods and our God Gamer IQ, we defeated the siren and earned the trophy, Don't They Ever Shut Up, and blew the Titan horn, alerting Kronos to our arrival. Kronos, the last of the living mighty Titans and father to Zeus, emerged from the desert sands. On his back, Pandora's temple, a vast structure that contained the power within. After climbing Kronos for 3 days, we set our eyes on the temple, massive and daunting with no obvious sign of entry. To the right, a figure stood by a bonfire. This man identified himself as the first mortal to fall within Pandora's temple, and for his failure he was doomed to burning the bodies of everyone who falls in the pursuit of Pandora's box. After realizing there was nothing he could say to convince us to turn away, he opened the doors to the temple and we stepped inside. What greeted us was the Rings of Pandora, a series of circular hallways used as a navigational challenge for Kratos. As we explored the first ring, we found a passage where Aphrodite greeted us. The goddess was pleased with our progress and granted us a new weapon to aid us in our quest, thus triggering the next trophy, Swordsman. What followed was the challenge of Atlas, a series of hallways and corridors containing a number of deadly traps, ferocious enemies and mind-bending puzzles to overcome. During this challenge we did earn a number of trophies. Firstly, Hitman 2 for reaching over a 200 hit combo, next was Kratos' Marble Collection for getting the maximum upgrades for our health, and finally we earned the trophy Get the Ball Rolling for completing the Atlas challenge. At the end of the challenge we located a tomb of the first of 2 sons of the architect who built this place. Their skulls were the keys we needed to progress further into the temple. That architect really did go mad making this place. Anyways, as we used the keys to gain access to the next ring of Pandora, the door slammed shut behind us and a spiked roller was released into the hallway, reminiscent of a scene from Indiana Jones. And luckily for us, we grew up playing Crash Bandicoot, so we were able to run away from the boulder, run up these stairs, balance on top of the roller and jump on this ladder to make it to the next section. The next challenge we faced was the challenge of Poseidon. A series of different challenges included fighting against this Cerberus dog and its pups in a degraded arena. These are some of the most infuriating enemies that you can come across, and with this combo, the speed and vast numbers of the pups as well as the tanky nature of the Cerberus, it meant that it took me a few attempts to beat it on hard. However, when I did, I earned the trophy, Roll Over and Cry. Whilst completing this challenge, we located all of the Muse keys that led to a secret room within Pandora's temple, earning us another trophy, Keys to Success. After slaying the ferocious beasts that stood in our way, we came to this grand room where caged undead soldiers were hanging from the ceiling. At the far end was a smaller room with a lever and a pressure-sensitive panel on the ground. Engraved on the door was the god of the sea, Poseidon, who demanded a sacrifice for those who would enter. A fallen soldier had left a note that read as follows: "What the gods ask, I cannot do, even for Pandora's box. They are monsters now, but they were once men. I know I am weak, but I cannot be a part of this. I have failed Athens." At this moment I realized we had to drag one of the caged soldiers up the slope and sacrifice them in order to open the door. We did eventually make it up the slope and completed this section by sacrificing this poor helpless soldier, earning us the trophy Totally Baked. In the next room was a shrine to Poseidon and a trident that gave us the ability to breathe underwater indefinitely. This came in handy as the next challenge was fully underwater, with traps that would make anyone with claustrophobia feel extremely squeamish. One particular trap got me stumped and beat me so many times that the game mocked me and offered to reduce the game's difficulty. To stifle the sense of embarrassment, the game gave me a trophy called Getting My Ass Kicked. After completing Poseidon's challenge, we made it onto the challenge of Hades. At the entrance to his challenge was a door that demanded a blood sacrifice. Upon accepting, 2 ritual circles straight out of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime appeared and a herd of centaurs started attacking me.
It's time to do.
These guys are a real pain, but after defeating 8 of them within the ritual circles, it opened the next door and gave us access to the labyrinth. And we popped the trophy, beating a bed horse. Much of the same followed as we continued through this maze. Waves of enemies stood in our way, from centaurs to archers to medusas and more. We had to decimate every single one of them before we could proceed. However, for me, the worst thing happened. My PS3 froze, which meant I lost all of my progress. Luckily, we had saved just outside the challenge of Hades, so after plucking the courage to continue the game, we defeated the centaurs in record time and made it back into the labyrinth, defeated all the enemies in the maze, and overcame this awesome fiery boulder challenge of hell, where 3 boulders would drop down this long hallway simultaneously, and you had to dodge all of them whilst opening doors on the side of the hallway before getting crushed. The wise words of dodgeballs were ringing in my mind.
You're gonna learn to be true dodgeballers. Then you've got to learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Eventually we found the right door and came to our next challenge. For all of you with fear of heights, you should probably look away now. This one involved us balancing across narrow beams whilst avoiding circular rotating fans that did everything possible to try and knock us off. Surprisingly, it only took me 2 attempts to beat this, and I don't know how because I normally suck at these platforming sections. After pulling this mechanism at the end of this challenge, the chains on the giant door within Hades' challenge tightened, and this happened. Here we face our next boss in the game. This is Pandora's Guardian, a 20-foot tall undead beast that serves as the last test for anyone who wishes to best Hades' challenge. This requires an immense amount of power and damage just to dent his near impenetrable armor. This was by far the toughest boss we faced so far, and compared to the others, it required every manner of skill and wit to overcome. After wearing the beast down and stunning it enough, we were able to use this contraption here to fire logs at the beast, breaking off a piece of armor. After completing this sequence 3 separate times, we land the final blow on this beast in epic fashion, earning the trophy, Take the Bull by the Horns. Beyond this door, we found the tomb for the second son of the architect, and took his skull as the key to reward us for our efforts. Hades then appeared and granted us the power to use the souls of the underworlds in battle, earning us the trophy, Soul Search. After using the final key to open up the central temple, we configured the rings of Pandora to all align, which then in turn granted us access to the next section of Pandora's temple. In the upper section, we face the most infuriating enemy in the game, the Satyrs. These overgrown Darth Maul wannabe goat demon parry things. Parry everything that you throw at them and take so much damage in order to defeat them on hard. Seriously, this motherfucker has been watching Darth Maul montages on YouTube on repeat because he was parrying every attack I threw at him. Whether it was short range or long range, he made it look easy. Luckily, Mama didn't raise a quitter, so we finally defeated him and sent a warning to Ares that we were coming for him next, earning us the trophy, Scapegoat. We then came across the Cliffs of Madness. As you can guess, the cliffs were another labyrinth-style challenge. Whilst exploring the Cliffs of Madness, we found all the collectibles needed to max out our magic meter, earning us the trophy, Stick It in Your Cap. What was required to complete this challenge was to locate 2 keys in the shape of necklaces from 2 separate locations. The first one is after you complete a timed box challenge where you have to drag this box around a wall and jump on it and reach a ledge before time runs out and a spike impales anything on the ground. As you can imagine, this took me far too long, but when I did eventually complete it, I earned the trophy, Kickboxer. The other necklace is located in a different challenge room that required you to use all your experience from Tetris to push the boulders in the right place to complete this puzzle on the wall. After this, we made it out of the Cliffs of Madness and to the Architect's Tomb. Our final challenge that stood before us was no easy feat. First of all, we had to navigate across this deadly chasm with rotating saw blades and moving platforms. This section was clearly inspired by Crash Bandicoot. Once we made it over to the other side, we had to go through this door, defeat the Cyclopses here, control this crane, drop this cargo into the crack on the ground, bring the cargo back up, drop it on its weight-sensitive platform, jump back down there, push this statue into the hole onto another pressure-sensitive platform, then make it across the circular platforming section of Doom, stand on this platform until it's fully gone down, and then make our way back across and jump through the door before the time runs out. After making it through the door and into the tomb, we rip off the final head, use it to open the last door, and earn the trophy Headhunter. Inside this room was one more track where we had to destroy a number of enemies, whilst these treadmills tried to push us into these circular things of death, but we surpassed it and located Pandora's box, earning us a trophy, the power to kill a god. As we pushed Pandora's box out of the temple, this happened.
So, little Spartan, you've recovered Zeus's precious box, but you will not live long enough to see it opened. I will see to that. Goodbye, Spartan. You will rot in the depths of Hades for all eternity.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Fatality.
As the life began to leave Kratos, his thoughts returned to that fateful night. Even in death, the memories, the visions would not fade.
My wife, my child, how they would have been Sparta.
You are becoming all I'd hoped you'd be, Kratos. Now, with your wife and child dead, nothing will hold you back. You'll become even stronger. You will become death itself.
But as the flames consumed the temple, Kratos realized his true enemy was the god who once saved his life. The same god who had now taken everything from him. In the end, in death, he had failed. As the minions of Ares claimed Pandora's box, Kratos' life faded, and his cursed soul was cast into the fires of Hades.
Now, all of you guys warned me about this section and how terribly frustrating it is. Did I believe you?
Nope.
Should I have? Yes. This is by far the most infuriating section in this game, with circular bladed platform sections causing more rage than any other section in the game. It's like some demonic version of Total Wipeout or Takeshi's Castle, but way less funny. Somehow, I managed to complete the first of these rotating pillars without getting hit. That earned me the trophy, You've Got the Touch. However, the second one was much more disastrous. I failed over and over and over, and eventually, after
One eternity later.
I made it to the top.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah!
After this, we witnessed a rope fall from the skies, and as we ascended, we ended up outside the Temple of the Oracle again, where the Gravedigger greeted us. This earned us our next trophy, Get Me a Beer Kid. After making our way through the temple, decimating anything that stood in our way, we reached Ares and fired a lightning bolt at the chain, holding Pandora's box in Ares' hand, causing it to fall. The power within the box transformed us into a gigantic version of a god, similar in size and strength to Ares. This final boss fight was like a scene out of Godzilla. Ares using these spider-like spikes from his back to fight us, and us using the blades of chaos. After duking it out with Ares, we complete the first phase, and then he transports us into an illusion where we have to defend our family while fighting off against different clones of ourselves. On hard, this is actually quite a challenge, but after doing this, we end up having to witness the fall of our family again, whilst the blades of chaos are ripped from our arms. It's absolutely brutal. As we lay there on our knees, broken and defeated, we glance up and witness a sword disguised as a bridge and dodge Ares' fatal attack and grab it to begin phase 2. After fighting valiantly against Ares, we defeat him, ending his reign as the god of war forever, earning us the next trophy, God Killer. Now we've come full circle, now fully understanding why Kratos tried to end it all at the beginning. However, as he leaped off the cliff and submerged into the waters below, the gods yanked him from the ocean and offered him a chance to sit amongst them as the new god of war. As we took our seat on our new throne, we earned the trophy, prepare to be a god. At this point in the playthrough, we had 7 trophies left. 1 trophy related to speedrunning the game, 1 trophy related to upgrading weapons, 1 related to beating the challenge mode, 3 miscellaneous trophies, and the elusive platinum trophy. First on the agenda was to check out the special features of the game, and after we watched a short video about making the God of War game, we earned the trophy, The Legend of the Twins. After this, I decided to take on the Challenge of the Gods. The Challenge of the Gods is a series of trials that tests the player's skill and require strategic combat and timing. From destroying a number of pots before the timer runs out, to shooting a ballista at undead soldiers whilst avoiding humans, to fighting off waves of enemies without getting hit, and much more. The challenge mode is not easy, it's actually the hardest part of this game. In particular, when you find out that you can't save your progress, so all 10 challenges have to be done in one go. Unfortunately for me, I didn't realise that, so I made it to challenge 8, and then went to bed, woke up the next day to realise I have to do all the challenges again. Anyways, after plucking the courage to come back to this challenge again, I ended up beating all 10 of the challenges and earning the trophy, I'll take the physical challenge. The particular challenges I struggled with was number 5 with the ballista, number 4 with defeating the Minotaurs without any soldiers getting defeated, and number 10 with the Sartars and Cerberus dogs. The final trophies were quite simple and were achieved in my next playthrough, which ironically was the speedrun playthrough. The first trophy was rocking the boat, which is achieved when you, with the assistance of the females in your bed, rock the boat in the best way you know how. Splash is a miscellaneous trophy earned when you seduce the naiads in Poseidon's challenge. Seeing red is the trophy earned when you max out every upgrade of every weapon and magic. And the final trophy was called the Speed of Jason McDonald, which is when you beat the game in under 5 hours. After this, we earned the Platinum Trophy, the first of 8 God of War Platinums here on the channel. Almost 20 years later, this game still has an incredible amount of quality, and I understand now why many consider it one of the greatest action games of its time. For me, some of the later entries build on the foundation this game sets, but for the PS2, this is definitely up there as one of the best PS2 games released, alongside games like Metal Gear Solid 3, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and Resident Evil 4. Don't forget, if you want to chat with me live whilst I play these games, you can check out the Twitch channel where I'm live on Wednesdays and Sundays from 7 PM EST. Thank you to everyone who helped us reach over 600 subscribers on YouTube. Love and appreciate you all, and be sure to click that bell notification to be notified when God of War 2 video goes live.